Hello and welcome to Afro Rhythms right here on Agetv. I am your host, Purity SM. Today we're going to be talking all things music with DJ Mpilo Shaya in number. So do stay tuned, we'll be with you. Now, drum roll Prince, DJ Mpilo in the space.
So,
Hello, Sanbona.
Unjani? Siyaphila nathi. Jabula ukuba sekhaya.
Hayi kuhle mawujabulile. So we're just gonna take a walk, take a journey through your life, Nyana, and try to enter your footsteps and try to understand who is this DJ Mpilo from Kwaduguza, J. So we're gonna start off point one. Let's about when we see artists, they're playing up there, we can't get a reach of them. But these are the opportunities that people can get to know DJ Mpilo on the real. So maybe as a small boy, ukhula, DJ Mpilo, wakhulelaphi kanjani, osisi obhuti, take it over.
Well, igama lami amagama ngempela nguMeneliswa Maxwell Nhleko.
Interesting.
Umpilo igama engaliqanja ugogo. Okay, well. Yeah, mfana kagogo. And then ekhaya siba 3. It's I have an older sister, then bese kuba mina partner ndawo, and then bese kuba uNkululeko owawugcina. Unfortunately we no longer have ubaba, but we were raised by uma. Sonke ke sifundile. So well, my music journey started in 2005 if I'm not mistaken. The love for music, it started in 2005. So lakhula kuthando lo music, and then I started meeting people, but mostly I was inspired by the likes of Durban's Finest, the likes of Abo Mzamsi, the likes of Abo DJ Fresh. Then at that time in 2005 I was basically get Teshar. So I went to a Teshar in Yofunda Eris Tech. Eris Tech, it's whereby I met the likes of DJ Xebo, Amenisto, Ondumi, Oneti, Onono, and a lot of guys from Richard Space. Those are the guys who gave me a platform, and then Bangfundisuk DJ. So unfortunately, I didn't even finish my course because ngase nginabe umsindo kakhulu, ngase ngiwuthanda kakhulu umsindo. So that's how my career kicked off. From there, I've never turned back.
Okay. All right, I want you to take us back. So, thola ukuthi ama siblings uba nale middle child syndrome. How did that affect you? Did you feel like you went through middle child syndrome, Nyana? How were you guys interacting?
Leyo nkinga leyo ngisaba nayo because people they always think ukuthi mina I'm spoiled. And there's a difference between being spoiled and being privileged. I can never say I'm spoiled. I can say I'm privileged. Uma wami nganza kuyithanda zonke ngokufana. There's no ukuthi enye uyithanda kakhulu. Everything usenzela yona ubesenzela yona nje ngokufana. Ubungekho umehluko ukuthi leyo wesithathu lo upartner ndawo lo uyaqala. There was never a thing kanjalo.
Okay, that's interesting because I wanted to understand because normally it's told ukuthi kunabo middle child syndrome nakanjani. So now, when did the spark come? At which age? At primary, high school, did you figure out, I like umculo?
Well, umculo vele, before even going to high school, I used to like umculo. When my granny was still alive, she would buy me my cassettes, like abo Chiscope, abo my Champlain, and then I had the radio, Tompis, I had the radio, my cassettes, my record in my bedroom. So that's where uthando lomculo developed. But when I started seeing people mixing, I always said, okay, I want to do this thing. I want to mix. That is when I started wanting to learn. And then I met those guys who I've mentioned before. Then I started collecting records. Because way back, we used to collect records if you are a DJ. So that's how it started.
Interesting. Do you still have Loma records?
I still have them.
All right.
Yes.
What are your top 3 in your records collection?
Well, I'll tell you, my first record was a record by Sterling Ensemble. The name of the song was called Believe. The second vinyl I bought, it was the EP from the album Durban's Finest Billy. That EP had the Stimulus Sezola, He had Bonsai Tell My Story. And then the other one I bought was, I think it was Kerry Chandler, Let the Wind Come or Sunset. I don't remember. But the other one, it was Nova Space, Time After Time. Yeah, so those are the records that I be a rocker.
I
Let's say
remember
that.
that song. Time after
Yeah.
time. Hey, if you just tuned in, you are watching Afro Rhythms right here on Agetv. I am your host, Purity SM Sendai, Mr. Namba, or DJ Mpilo. Now, DJ Mpilo. So, take us through to your first gig. What were the feelings that were taking place there? And what event was it?
My first ever event where I got to interact in a crowd that was maybe plus or minus 500 or 600 people.
Wow.
It was Umgito. It was organized by Ucebo. I remember it was in 2007 or 2006. Yeah. But I was very nervous, to tell you the truth. I was nervous. It was my first time being on a bigger stage. I will go to my house parties with smaller crowds. But there it's different because it's more of an outdoor thing and it's different people you get to meet. And what are you going to deliver? Because it's your delivering that is important. So I was very nervous, I won't lie. Yeah.
So do you remember the first song, the first selection?
I don't remember the first song. I don't remember, but at that year in 2000, there were so many quite nice songs that came out. Depen was starting to grow. We had about El Vovo coming out. We had about Bongs coming out at the time. We had about Chinaman. We had about Tweety. All those guys had released music that year. About Tira. So we had a lot of music. So if I can say this was my first song on that day, I will be truly lying because there was so
The
many.
nerves were kicking in.
There was so much of beautiful music that time.
All right, so since Usune journey in music, maybe you want to take us through my highlights of events that you feel like, Abole touched my heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 5.
Top 5. It's Meet My Damn Music Festival, Durban Underground, Watuguza Festival, Mandeni Homecoming, Indai Homecoming Festival. I think those events I've just counted were events that, in terms of organizing, they are organized well. Yes. Or and Umhlatsuze Music Festival. Those are the gigs that I still enjoy myself. Yes, because I know that everything is on point.
Interesting stuff. So Manje, we're gonna take us through Joba. We've gone through this season year COVID. So what's your take on it and how did it affect you?
Well, as we know that COVID has affected so many industries. It's just not the entertainment industry, but the entertainment industry, I think it's more severely affected because Tina sisebenza ngama crowds. If there are no crowds, we can't interact with people. So in COVID up until today, we don't know. We're still living a life esingayazi ukuthi direction but we hope that sooner or later we're going to find a solution for this, and then we're going to continue with our normal lives. We need our lives back at the end of the day. We miss summer event, we miss the frustration, we miss the stress of the event, we miss everything towards the good
and the bad.
Yes, that comes with the eventing business. We miss.
Hey, you figure it
Yeah.
sound. Where is this?
Yes. So, yeah.
Okay, and we do understand that these days everyone multitasks. So you find one person is a musician and then others are dogotel.
Yes.
So what's your game? What's your multitask?
I mean,
What's your side hustle?
my
Hashtag?
side hustle. I have my company that I'm like doing your neceleni that pays my salary while njengoba kune COVID-19. So as the time in COVID-19 I sat down and said, okay, what can I do in the meantime while this has stopped? And then I realized, okay, there are things that you can supply, there are things you can do. So I run a company that supplies izinto, a lot of things. Yeah. Yeah, even doing into construction as well. Yeah, so that's how one is surviving lately.
Interesting, the choice of side hustle, construction. Do you have history with construction? Is
No,
it
I don't
something
have
that
history.
You always looked at?
History now a law. I've studied law, but unfortunately I didn't finish the law course as well. Most of the times isn't anything nginjalo nje.
But in law, I mean, it's worlds apart. Music and law, they're like worlds apart. What had inspired you towards law in the first place?
Well, in law, it's something that we deal with it every day. So one needs to be well known with lawyers in South Africa, especially the constitution. I believe with each and every South African in a right to the constitution and the laws of this country. You can't be saying you are living in a country, but was my laws and the constitution. So, in fact, I like arguing. I wanted to argue in court. So, but I always want to prove a point. I always want to prove something that then they show and then I will state facts and tell you this is what. Yes.
Okay, that's the important part. Back it up with facts.
Yes.
Interesting there, Wuti. You know, you went through that point. I can just imagine if things had actually gone the other way, so quote, so defend the case. What type of law were you looking into?
I was into criminal law.
Oh.
I was dealing with criminal law.
So is it true, Wuti, in criminal law, it's always to the best lawyer or to the highest bidder?
It's not to the highest bidder. Well, our South African law, it has loopholes. Like any other country's law, any other country, it has loopholes. You just need to find them loopholes and work on them.
Find your way through them.
Yes.
Interesting. So now coming back to your music. So what are the projects that you are working on now? Is there something that's cooking that people can be expecting?
Yeah, there is something that I'm cooking. Gune EP that I'm thinking I'm gonna drop it around about August towards my birthday, around August. It's called Beyond. What did I name it? What? But it's beyond boundaries.
Oh.
Now I remember. It's
Beyonce.
No, it's beyond boundaries. So we are still working on it, but it's likely finished. So we just need to do the touch-ups, do the mastering, and then we start feeding it to people.
Launch on the birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now, looking into Mpilo as a member of society, are there community projects that you are involved in? What else were you being involved in, or rather, maybe you can take us through that process up till now that's outside music?
Music. Yeah, good projects where we are involved in Oma Wami. My mother, she's a priest. So good projects are involved in Yona, whereby we give ingane, sanitary pads, the Colgate, the basic needs. Even as abafana, we give them every December. So we do that with Uma.
All right. So you visit schools, or is it?
We visit communities, because by the time since I learned to like always say value. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like a Christmas nyana.
Yeah, like a Christmas nyana.
All right. And interesting that you touch on the boy child as well, because oftentimes it is about the girl. I know women have gone through stuff, but still focusing and looking at the boy child as well. What made you take that step? Because most people are driving towards the girl child, woman empowerment in Bogoto. What made you come to, okay, maybe let's also consider the boy child?
Well, khona into engangithi angifuni ukuthi like let's say sokuthi indoda ayikhali. Well, men, they also go through things, but some they don't want to share them.
Sure.
You understand? So we also need to involve them in the society. We see gender-based violence it's because we never taught ukuthi umuntu wesilisa fanele amphathe kanjani wesifazane. umuntu wesilisa, you need to vent out ngezinto ezikuphethe kabi because we're ending up bottling up things and then we end up with uyikhipha kwabanye abantu abarong engafani ngabayo uyikhiphela kubona.
True.
Yes. So most of these gender-based violence issues are based on this, on those things, the upbringing. So if your upbringing is not good, you are bound to be involved in a gender-based violence cases. Like the same thing, this bullying, there's what. People, they don't talk about it. So, the bullying affects him. Would say, I used to be bullied, and saying, and start taking out all those things to wife or the girlfriend. Maybe they will have found solutions.
Speaking about bullying, is it maybe something that you went through, or rather, what are the challenges that you found yourself as a boy child in school that you thought maybe if someone had spoken to us about this particular issue?
Well, I was never bullied in school because where I was schooling in high school, I had my cousins. So the other boys, or so I have never went through all those things. Like in primary school, so you wouldn't touch me because you're negative. So as I was saying, I'm not spoiled. I was privileged in many things. So that's why people, they say, hey, when you're spoiled, I'm not spoiled. I was privileged. To my advantage, which is not wrong.
So now it's interesting, coming back, you say that your mom was a priest.
She's a priest up until yes.
Yes. So how did she take this view? Because I know most of the times parents don't really get this music thing. How did you bridge that gap?
Well, my mother, she has been supporting since day one. She has never said anything. When I told her, she just said, if it's going to make you happy, just do it.
Wow.
I mean, I won't be in front of you, stopping you. So she has been supportive from day one.
Wow, that's very interesting and empowering also, because I mean, youth these days are going through those bit of glitches, and my parents are understanding. So it seems you had a close relationship with your mom.
Yes,
was it always like that? Were you the one?
Okay, well, there's a scenario here. When we were growing up, before she passed on, I always knew when I was growing up. And then I thought my mom was my sister.
Okay.
So that's where the bond developed in me and I. Even like we talk like brothers and sisters. Like I will phone my mom and say, hey, ma, what's a clip up? She'll say, okay, I drop your phone and forget. You know, that's the relation, that's the kind of bond we have.
Oh, wow.
And it's, I only bond the young value. Wow. Because it went beyond mother and the child. It was like a brother and a sister. Like my mother never had a brother. She's uyedwa kubo. So she always regarded me as her brother. Yeah.
Okay. So and this point where you thought she was your sister, where did you find the light and how did you acceptance? How did
ugogo wami wagcina sengitshelile ukuthi hayibo lo muntu njalo ukukotela la ukuthi usisi wakho uma wakho.
And what was your take on that? Like,
and I was like, okay, uma wami. Wathi mina ngiyena uma wami, wathi ngaba nomama omdala kangaka. And I was like, okay. Then I started adapting, it's okay, uma. And then baqala basitshengisa izithombe ke ukuthi hayibo, she is indeed uma wami. Yabo. But all along growing up, bengazi ukuthi mina usisi wami. Bengithi usisi lungi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she still assist looking that much?
So uma phela manje because sengimjwayele.
So you find parents having that relationship. It's
normal. It's normal.
Okay. All right, and then coming back to your music. So through your journey, what artists have you had a chance to collaborate with and work with up till date?
Recently, I've been promoting a lot of local talent from Esteng. So talent engilipromotayo, it's up and coming and unknown people. In my first ever single I've released, I worked with Drama Drizzy. Then second single engisebenze kuyona, the song was produced by Ulungelo. Then ngasengiyayipolisha mina ngiyiqedela. And then the second single I worked with Ronel Ree. She's an upcoming vocalist. And then on the third one, on the third single, I'm working with Usi Level. On the second single, I also worked with Usi Level. He's the one who did the instrument for the song. Yeah. So I've been like working with a lot of unknown people. Yeah.
Coming through. Yeah. All right. We do also know that you once worked with DJ Bongs.
Yes.
Now, can you just take us through how did you guys actually even meet? Bumped each other at checkers, or how did you guys meet?
Okay, I met Ubongs. It was in 2009 with Gig, and from there we connected. And then in 2010, and he asked me ukuthi ngizosebenza naye esa-owner i-record label that was called Mabalabala, which is cut. So my duty, I worked there as a label manager, whereby I will do izinto zaboma compilation, to go and outsource music from other producers for my compilation in-house and all those things. Make sure ukuthi izinto zihambile to kwaSony for i-production and so on and so on and so on. So izinto ey'kanjalo. So ispan sami was to get music. Get music for i-compilation yama-artist ethu, because at that time it was stable. So I will go to producer Tizeni, hey, what do you have here? And then get that instrument and say, I got this instrument, guys, can you work on it? On which song can we release this instrument, this song on? Isn't it Ranjal?
Okay, so it was behind the scenes. You guys never collaborated in any track, music?
No, we've never. But I've compiled a massive two for him. It was the Ultimate. We worked on it now, and then in Mabalabala we worked on it now. Yeah.
All right, and then coming to, are you guys still working together?
We are still working together. We are still sihlale not coast sobabili. So we see each other like every after 2 days or 3 days.
All right then, interesting. So now, now that we are expecting something in your birthday month. Maybe your birthday month, you can remind us again?
It's in August.
August. Interesting, my mom's also in August. Anyway, so coming to that, I mean, there's a lot of things to prepare. It's not just, hey, it's a release and everything is sharp. So to someone looking to enter the industry, usafisa naya, mhlawumbe ngabe nama-turntables wakhe or uyafisa na ukungena ku-industry, how would you speak to that person to uhleli la? How would you advise them?
Well, industry, it's open now. It was very difficult to get into the industry. But now, to push yourself, there is social media. At the time, in the industry, there was no social media. You used to hustle. Like you can beg people, hey guys, I'm this. Manje, you got social media. You can go digital. You can even be an artist as you are digital. An artist that doesn't go and play clubbing, that doesn't go and play mashisanyama, but an artist release. So if you feel you have the passion and you like into your mculo, there's nothing that can stop you. Go emculweni ungene emculweni.
Okay.
It's akusafani nakuqala. We have about Twitter, you have about Instagram, you have about Facebook, where you can just post a song, a link yakho abantu bayi-download. If they like it, they buy it, and so on and so on. Yeah.
Okay, interesting how things have
changed.
Sort of become easy. It's not easy still, but the situation around it is much better. So now we do know that as an artist, you have your favorite pair of headsets. Do you still have your first turntables, or did you change, or you're still holding on to it, you're keeping it,
No, I don't. I no longer have them. I didn't have my turntables. Turntables were expensive to buy. They were like 24K a pair at that time. So now they are even more expensive to buy. But records were cheap, because records were like 120, 150, 200. It depends on which song it was back in the days. My headphones are like, we change them now and then. But I've had a pair I've just recently changed it to this year. I've had that pair, Sennheiser D205. I've had it since 2013. Then I this year. So this year, and then I decided, yeah, I still use it. It's still working. So this year, and then I bought the Technics, my headphones. And then I bought the Technics.
All right. And speaking of my headsets, so what music do you listen to outside your stuff? Top 10 perhaps. You know,
Perhaps.
What do you jam to?
Mariah Carey, Anthony Hamilton, Raheem Devon, and then Westlife, NSYNC. My collection is too much. And I listen a lot of gospel too, as well as of gospel, and a lot of South African R&B, like Abolungi Naidu, your Malaika, your what's other band? But I listen to a lot of SA music.
Interesting. So
and I like my piano too.
So put the smooth.
Yeah.
And the track that you are soon to release, which direction is it? You spoke about my piano and you're smooth.
No, it's a dance music. I mean, I'm into dance. I play dance music. I play hip hop. I play my piano. There's nothing wrong with my piano. I like my piano a lot because it's a new sound that came. It's the same thing. What is happening to my piano now? It's the same thing that was happening when it happened introduced the boom. So we need to support the genre as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, we are live right here in sunny South Africa, Durban, on Afro Rhythms on HTV. I am a Purity SM, and thank you so much for hanging out with us. Stay blessed.
In this age and times comes great ideas, sweet memories,
new techniques,
untold stories about Africa and the world at large. Guess what? The new age brings on board a brand name in broadcasting technology.
Introducing Age Television. At Age Television, we serve you with professionalism
in news and event coverage,
live streaming, documentaries,
artist management,
video and photography,
social media management, and lots more.
For inquiries, call us on +27 061 773 9628
or 027 064 543 0136.
You can also send us WhatsApp messages on 078 229 4593.
YouTube HTV/Durban. Tweet us at HTV Durban.
Facebook at HTV Durban.
Instagram at HTV.Durban.
Email us at htvdurban@gmail.com.
Visit our website on www.htv.co.za. Age Television, celebrating the uncelebrated.